Hey guys, welcome to a recap of Big Brother Season 25, Episode 5. And I'm gonna give this episode a name. Girl, Riley was this season it girl in the beginning, but it may be a short season for our girl Riley. Oh my gosh, how the tides have turned. So, yeah, we open up the episode of Big Brother and we don't see none of the house guests. Where they at? Where they at? Where they at? But we learned from Julie Chen that they're over in the nether regions, and honestly, I was a little bit scared. It was so scary. It was giving scary spice vibes. Definitely. So they're playing the game of head of household. And so everyone pretty much, are ready to go to win, to secure a safe spot in the house. And so everyone is prepared. They got their game faces ready. They have to pretty much answer not answer, but they have to pretty much solve the riddle on what the clue would be a safe spot for them to stand on while the monster of the nether region come to pretty much pull out anyone who is not in the right spot. So I'm a little bit nervous because I'm waiting to see whether or not we're gonna find out if Jared and Siri cover has been exposed. Because last where we left off, when Kristen left the situation, she let us know that now that Julie Chen shared that Siri and Jared have a relationship, it was kind of in the talks and conversation that Jared said that he has a nickname in which some people were able to identify that that's what Siri's son goes by. So I'm kind of like on tiptoe, just watching the episode, whether or not we're gonna find out if someone's gonna come up and reveal that they know who Jared and Siri are in connections with each other, but we don't. So I'm happy that the secret is safe. I'm sure they're happy too as well. But in the challenge, we are seeing who is leading the charge. And guys, this challenge you have to run to the spot because if there's only like a certain amount of markers on a given spot in which people can occupy. So if it's full, you have to go find another spot. So eventually you're going to be pulled by the nether region monster. So while this is going on, I'm so scared and nervous because the monster actually looks scary and the vibes that they were giving, the production quality, I believe it. I was so scared throughout this whole situation. So at the end, we get to see Heisem. Heisem been killing these challenges. He's gonna become a threat for these people. And Jared are the top two remaining in the challenge. And it's a toss up at this point between Heisem and Jared. But it was leaning more towards Jared because he was, noticing that the clues around them kind of give an indication on the riddle to what to prepare for. So with Jared taking note of some etchings on the car that gave a clue to where the last spot was to be, where to stand by. I'm thinking, okay, Jared, he got this. He's gonna win this. He got this in the bag. But he did a premature mistake and not examining all locations where the etching was on the wall to understand what is the address to stand in front of. Because it was very crucial that you do not stand on the door etched in the number 4. And I'm like, okay, we looking at the numbers. I see 4, but then when I realized that the clue that he missed, he skipped to go see, said not the one with the 4 in the front, and the other option was the 4 at the end. I'm like, wow, Jared really blew it. But Hyson, he's the professor. He takes time. He, dot his I's, cross his T's, and he was able to decipher. And he didn't really have a choice. The door that was remaining was the correct door, but by chance, Jared was not in front of that door. So by default, by chance, by luck, Heisem wins the challenge. And y'all, everyone in the house is so scared, especially handfuls. Okay, handfuls, have Riley, Jag, Matt, Blue. Pretty much all the young people are in the handfuls. And they are like laughing at how hilarious the situation, and they wish that Jared would have won this one because that would have guaranteed that at least the people in their alliance is safe. But that's not the case. Jared is a double agent and he is in cahoots with his mama and the other side. So maybe this was a good thing that Jared did not win, because I feel like you don't want to show your cards way too soon, you know? So, of course, Mama Siri is a little bit nervous that her son is trapped in the nether regions. Um, but he has a special power that he gets to have, and he gets to select two people. No, one person out of the two that will be nominated by the head of HOA, who that he can pull and bring to safety. So that's a lot of power, and he recognized this completely because he don't want to show his cards, and he don't want to make it too obvious that he's not working really truthfully with the handfuls. Now, of course, this draws up a lot of commotion because the handfuls already want to dictate what to do, what to make the next move, which I thought was a little bit off-putting, but I get it. Now, our girl, Miss Riley, she feels she's not safe, and she knows she's not safe. And the reason why she knows she's not safe is because the other week, she was telling Hisam that she would come for him. He's competition. So, of course, the competition, when he wins the competition, is going to nominate the other person who's trying to kick out the competition. So, rightfully so, Hisam wants to have Riley on the chopping block, okay? Now, it's a toss up to who's going to stand next to Riley. And Riley is panicking. She is freaking out because she doesn't want to go home so early, so soon. But it's someone's turn. Okay, so it's gonna happen, and you had to see this coming. She is fully aware that this was the move that was gonna happen. So of course, she's off the rip concerned, and she's talking to her bae, seeking comfort from Matt. Matt is our cutie pie. This is the showmance between Riley and Mr. Matt. And so, guys, these two, they are nervous boots. And I felt like when Matt had the talk with Hisam, he was straight to the point. He was drilling Matt, and Matt didn't stand no chance. He pretty much, to me, in my opinion, kind of opened up, confirmed everything to Hyson, that the people that he's working with are pretty much the people who are against Hyson. So I felt like, wow, Matt, you kind of really threw your team under the bus, but he didn't do it intentionally. I felt like, he was kind of going with emotion. Hyson is super direct. He's on to the next question. He's very calculated. He's like, move, 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 getting all the answers that he wanted. And it was so easy to get that out of Matt. Matt didn't stand no chance, okay? I'm sorry, Matt. So, Hisam does not view Matt as his threat or competition. And honestly, when Matt shares with him that he's not coming for him, you know, Hisam believes him, and he is not coming after Matt. So who he's gonna come after, who he's gonna put next to Riley, but we know it's gonna be a pawn because his biggest threat is Riley. Riley's biggest threat is Hisam. So what Miss Riley got to do is she got to beg Jared. She literally begs Jared. She's like, Jared, I saved you last week. You need to run me back this favor. This only seemed right. Hisam wants to come for me. And Jared, when Jared has a talk with Hisam makes it very, very, very clear who he wants on the chopping block. So for Jared to go against the biggest competitor, Hisam, that's not gonna look good. And also, you don't want I don't want it to be exposed too soon that Jared is the double agent. He's working for his mama. Okay, so he has to somewhat please Hisam. Siri understands and recognizes that. And Siri kind of offers to say, hey, why don't we just nominate Jag? I think Jag would be a safe person to put down on the chopping block. And I'm like, what Jag got to do with this? Why are we putting Jag into this? Jag? Really? I mean, Jag is part of Jared's alliance in the hands full. And it would be not a person that, Hisam would feel, okay, that's weird that you're wanting to save him. So ultimately, Hisam pulls, interesting enough, Cameron into a conversation. And how this conversation goes is pretty much leading that Hisam want to use Cameron as a pawn. Of course, Cameron is not into this at all. He doesn't want no parts of this at all. But it would kind of confirm to Riley that okay, Hisam is gunning for her and he wants her out. So when he actually declares who's on the chopping block for eviction, Hisam declares Riley and Cameron. And of course, Riley is crying. She is crying. She is crying. She is crying. She is crying. And, Jag is confused because Jared gave him safety. And so he's like, he's not even jeopardy at all. Why would you give it to me? So it was a bit confusing. And also, I wonder how the handful is going to look at this. I think next episode, it may be exposed that Jared is not really working with the handful effectively. And that is sad because Riley, she saved him the first day. And so it's him already going against his word. So I don't know where this leaves Jared, but next episode is definitely going to be interesting. So now, now that we know that it's now between Cameron and Riley, Riley's going to do everything in her power to win the veto power. So this is going to give her opportunity to take herself off the block and put someone else because she don't want no parts in it. Now, with Cameron being on the chopping block for eviction, I just remember Red. Red, Red, I love me some Red. Red is hilarious. I know that he has an alliance with Red, so I do feel like, Cameron does have a chance to pull himself off the chopping block. It seems as though anyone anyone right now, okay, right now we have pretty much everyone on the handful on the chopping block. So what they need to do is try to have at least one of the professors into the chopping block. So who would the handful put on the chopping block? I think most likely off the chopping block from the handfuls would be, let me pull them up. That would be, excuse me, Miss Siri, you gotta move to the side. So who would it be from the handfuls that will end up on the chopping block? It would have to be either Izzy, because Izzy has been controversial towards Riley. Izzy been steering the pot, and I don't know if she has rubbed anyone else the wrong way. But I don't think it would be. It could be Bowie too, because no one has a clear indication or understanding that Bowie is working with anyone else aside from the professor. And I don't know if she has a close friendship, close with Velocity, with Siri, with Izzy. Okay. So, next episode, I hope it's interesting. I hope they get things going. They mix the pot, they mix the drama because I want to see big moves. And I like that Hisam, he says he's playing an honest, loyal game. I want to see how long that lasts. But, he has a good mixture of what's going for him because he is able to compete. He's won 2 challenges. He won the veto and head of household. And he has a strong alliance. Now, is he on the top of that chain for the alliance? I believe so, because he's the one winning competitions for them. He's holding that alliance up strong because for your alliance to advance, you need someone from your alliance to win ahead of a household. So, yeah, so Miss Siri, she's able to, play in the shadows. She's able to play in the shadows, calling some of the shots. But she hasn't been exposed, and no one is viewing her as a threat. So I think when someone is an obvious threat and they are being so quiet, there is room for pause. I would be like, that's a little scary in itself. And I'm wondering what Corey's going to do about it. Because Corey is supposed to be our guy who's, the very calculating and very versed at, doing this game. So I'm so curious to see what's gonna lie in the future for Miss Siri. But as it looks so far, I don't know if the cover is gonna be blown, but we'll see who wins veto power. Who do I wish to win veto power? I was rooting for our girl Riley, but I don't like you crying and begging. You don't gotta beg for safety. If they don't want to give it to you, they don't want to give it to you. You just gotta assess, pick up the information, and move forward. Do what you can because you know you could win competition. So I feel like she will do her best in the competition. But ultimately, I don't know who I want to win veto power, but it is gonna be really interesting. I feel like that's when we're gonna see where the lines are being drawn, and that's when the game gets more interesting. So guys, we have to stay tuned. The episode tonight for Big Brother is the veto challenge. So I look forward to seeing. Of course, I will recap that. And if anything else interesting happens with the Big Brother, I, of course, will talk about it. But as it is so far, I want to know what you guys got to say down in the comments below. Who do you think is going to win the veto challenge? Okay, who's going to win? And what they're going to do with that power? So guys, do not forget to like, share, and subscribe. And as always, share as much kindness as possible. Talk to you guys soon and probably in the comments. Bye-bye.